watch it. I just comments. I can't.
It's like, hold on, Guap? I don't know his real name. I just know his Instagram. Guap. Step up the production quality. Because I'm sure that's Revlin. Because Connor can't like no kids like that, and Connor can't even make stuff like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. He would make something better. I feel like this is really.
Ooh. It's like,
Who gives a shit, dude? Honestly,
I go to this school, so I care.
Dude,
well,
like, who cares?
Oh, you see.
We're
now
all just the Matrix,
now we have audio.
man. Like,
We totally weren't in the new.
Okay, starting over. Take two. God.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. All right. Dave, we're still rolling. Start off on Tony. Here we go. Tony, serious interview. Do take 2.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Klaczynski, and I'm joined today by Bill Allan, director, editor, educator, D&D enthusiast,
rock star,
lead singer, mustache, model,
Chicago
Overlord, right, in general. Bill, how are you feeling today?
Tired, a little bit shaky, but I'm coming back, Tony, with thanks to Coke Zero, the unofficial sponsor
of this interview.
Yes.
All right, Bill. So let's start from the beginning. Well, whether it's films, music, events, or being the Dungeon Master Chicago.
Yeah. Yes.
Creativity has always been prolific. Do you feel like that started from a young age? In your childhood, lit that flame?
Of visualizing stuff and using your imagination, because role-playing games are theater of mind. And then creating a character and a persona and quirks and voices stuff for those characters. And with a few years of that, I was DMing. So I was the storyteller, and I was having to improvise and react to the input from the players. So imagine if you improvised a movie.
Right.
3 times a week, every week of your life, from the age of 5 until 20 something. You know what I mean? That's the level of.
So you feel like it helped you sort of have your creativity become more instinctual rather than something you have
Yes.
to like work for or try to find.
Right. Now, couple that coming from a very extroverted family where music was a big part of our family, like multi-generationally. I grew up singing. I trumpet and piano, and our whole family would sing. You know, we were a musical full family, and I think music had an impact on the creative process as well. Not just listening to it, but analyzing, and trying to figure out the melodies were, what the harmonies were. I vividly remember at an early age listening to Beatles records, and I understood what harmony was. Nobody taught me it yet. It clicked. Heard it in these Beatles songs. Love, love me do. You know I love you. Love, love me do. You know I love you. Like, I hear the parts. Nobody taught me that. I didn't have a formal musical education when I was seven. I could just hear it. That religious tradition, and there's a lot of kind of elements of the history of the Bible and religion that factor into understanding and interpreting stories and symbolism.
Now let's take some time to talk about. Let's back to your father and him, Professor Moraine Valley, correct?
He was there for 25 years.
Right. He did a lot of philosophy.
He did every. I
Right.
mean, he got his PhD later in life from the University of Chicago, but that was a 14-year process. So while he was teaching full time and doing other kind of side projects and side work, and raising a family, pursuing his PhD. Eventually, he got it, but I mean, he was also extremely active in his church.
A veteran as well.
He's a veteran. He served World War II.
In that community,
Yeah.
here at the high school.
He was very active in like community efforts as well on the south side, near Moraine Valley. He had a cable TV. He interviewed, a lot of people who were involved in the world of education, and in religion, and even in government. He interviewed Adelaide Simpson and Republican Governor Jim Edgar and Big Jim Thompson. I mean, like a lot of people. You know?
Yeah, and now you run a very free-willed environment.
I would say not directly. His teaching style was very different. He was actually a teacher that a lot of people didn't want to get because he was a hard teacher. Like, he required that you read the text deeply. He required focused discussion. He required a lot of papers. He had his students write a lot of papers, and he wasn't afraid to fail who didn't do their work. So I tend to be more fluid and flexible. If I was going to compare us to elements, my father was definitely more earth. He was foundational, whereas I kind of tend to be more water. I flow and follow the flow as it needs to go. Part of the reason why I set up LTTV the way that I did was because
Well, let's talk about that environment for a second, because though it is obviously a lot from your teaching styles and what you want for your students, there's also a lot of physical renovation. That's with your arrival at the school. How many years ago now?
I started in 2006.
Okay.
So this is my 14th year.
14th. In the 14 years, we've gotten Magic equipment, and all iMac editing suites. Godsman, David Carafa. How did you enact changes, and how did you get the school to go along with it?
Well, when I started in 2006, what I came into a well-established program. However, all of the equipment was obsolete. It was all equipment from the 90s, some from the 80s. They in 2006 they were still editing video with SVHS linear suites, which is like tape-to-tape editing. So in other words, technology in 2006 when I got here was the same as the technology when I graduated in 1991. And that was a huge problem for me because I knew that I didn't want to be teaching in a museum. I had to do a lot of proposals. I had a lot of meetings. I had to really sell vision to the administration. I needed to understand that the program I wanted to develop was going to be providing students real opportunities to learn on professional equipment, to practice their skills and learn their skills and their skills. I wanted to develop a program that was better than a high school. The old union system where my students become apprentices and they learn on the job. Hands-on learning is by far the best when it comes to media skills.
And let's talk about the results that have yielded, because alumni work all over the place, from the entire covering the Chicago film scene to E-News. Three students in the last 2 years accepted into the very prestigious Ball State media program.
Yeah.
And then last year, the Emmy. So let's talk about that for a second. What was going through your head when they finally come to our section? A guy from what was it, America's Funniest Videos is
Tom
there.
Bergeron.
He's going through the Ford names, and I think everyone there knew that it was going to be. But what was going through your head? All the trials, all the tribulations to get LTT like this. What did that mean? What were you thinking as the announcement was to be made?
Well, it's very vivid memory. First, I remember I told myself in my head that the video clip we submitted was just like anything that we do every year. Every year, we kill it with sports, and we kill it with a lot of products. And oftentimes, we will win awards. But it just so happened that this particular video clip was an exciting moment captured in time, and our production, our coverage of that exciting moment of this game was perfect. It was spot on. And I felt like in the back of my mind, and as watching this, and they were listing off all the nominees, the 5 nominees for sports. Live stream. And I just remember closing my eyes and praying. That's what I thought. Please just let them win. Because I wanted my students to know that what they do all the time, not just this one clip, but what they do all the time was worthy of that recognition. And then they won. And the whole room erupted.
Oh.
And I was relieved. I wasn't even happy. I was just relieved. I was relieved because suspense was over, but I was also relieved that we finally got recognized for all the hard work we did. So that was, it was huge. It was huge. I always think, even if we weren't submitting something to the National Academy of Television and Sciences, everything that we do, we approach with the same level of professionalism. And that to me is matters. That my students have the opportunity to learn hands-on how to do the level of stuff that gets recognized at the national level.
So, and now we just talked about how free of a environment LT is. Like I said, kids are doing whatever they want, how they want to do it. They're filming what they feel they can do. How do you balance all of this creativity, all of this freedom, with the hard fist in order to make sure things get done, make sure kids learn.
Get to a certain point where they get it, then what? Then I push them like a coach, and I suggestions, things that they could do. I put pressure on them, so that they push themselves to get better. And sometimes that learning mode doesn't work for some kids. They tune out, or they're intimidated by it. And I know this sounds mean, but too bad. It's tough because if you can't hack me, if you can't handle me pushing you, you will not make the industry. So it would be a disservice for me to go soft on students who think that they have a potential to go into the industry. So again, it's a weird thing because I am very loose and I encourage a kind of fun, creative, collaborative environment. But my kids also know that when it's time to do the work, they fuck around. They have to do the work. And that's me helping them to be prepared. And I think from the perspective of a parent, if I was a parent and my kid was like, oh, I want to go on film or TV, I wouldn't want somebody just spoon feeding them and babying them. I would want somebody to prepare my child for a career. That's what I'm doing.
And now we've talked about the opportunities that you've given the students here, and obviously there's been a lot. You offer Vegas and going to Vegas. This morning. Where did that inspiration from?
It came from that open-ended, creative, and collaborative environment that I tried to build. And specifically, it came from the end of the semester where some of the students saw the D&D stuff that we had laid out from another show, and they asked, hey, could we just play D&D for our final instead of producing a short film? And my first reaction was no. And then I was like, wait a minute, we can. Because that would be a great opportunity for them to turn production for something very different from what we do. It's not a talk show. It's not sports. It's not a rock concert. So how would they have to do that? Not only did they rise to the occasion, but we had a very, very short window of time. We had like 2 weeks plan and shoot and put together everything before the end of the semester, and everybody just pulled it together and we did it. And it wasn't perfect, but that was a great start. So my YouTube channel was just a fun place to put like all the crap that I just do, all my like hobbies and interests. Didn't know what to call it because there were so many different things that I was interested in, right? Like music and food and just, whatever. Called it Bill Allan, like the world of Bill Allan.
Books,
accessories,
so many crazy random things. How essential have the fans been in this newfound success of the channel?
So one thing that not one, but one of many things my channel has provided me, but us with is back from the fans is tremendously valuable. A lot of students, they look at YouTube, grown up with YouTube, and they have this maybe warped sense of reality because they think like, oh, if I could just be a YouTube star, I'd be I'd have millions of subscribers, I'd be set. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to be a YouTube star. It's constant effort. But I've found that our community of fans and subscribers and patrons and supporters have been incredibly supportive. Excuse me. And that incredible support has also included feedback that I think the students find valuable too. Because then all of a sudden they know that wow, there's like an audience actually watching this. There's an audience appreciating what we do. There are people who are commenting about the production work, about how awesome the lighting looks, or we love set, that kind of stuff. And I think that shows the sense that there's a lot of value in putting some work into something and being consistent with it and developing a community. People in season 4, so we had to put up into two groups. So there's a group of 5 girls, and their group is called the Vixens. They chose their name, and
Really cool.
it really fits well. And that process was really cool. We spent a lot of time producing the opening sequence for that. We did a custom shoot, and my right hand, David Carafa, did an amazing job using After Effects to make these stylized title sequences for them, and it's really exciting. The other cast is called the Medusas, and they're the veterans from the B team, which last season are now leading the Medusas. So there are 5 people on each cast. They're both season 4 casts. The storylines are all taking place in the same world where seasons 2 and season 3 and the B team have taken place. So it's not just random one-shots or different campaigns. It's all interconnected. And I think that's one of the things that makes our channel content special, is that they're play them to integrate them. But the other thing is that we have launched another new show, which you referenced, called the Bard. And the Bard, and I think
Nothing
the
released
first
yet.
Yep,
right?
the first couple episodes are pretty solid, and we'll be shooting more in the weeks to come. But I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. I think the fans are going to love it, and it continues again the storylines developed from previous things. So I think one of the things that all of our channel content does in terms of the gaming thing is it brings the fans together, or the rules, and they call me on it, and it's totally fine. We have a really good relationship with the fans, so I'm excited about that. We also have some special content. I have some special one-shot celebrity games, a couple that we've shot already, and then a few more that are coming down the line. So we're doing a Halloween horror live stream, Halloween night,